put it to the states within a year, we're calling for a constitutional convention under Article 5. So it is a way to build very concrete political power using a binding state law rather than just a non-binding resolution. And that's the work that has to happen everywhere, including in those 13 states where a resolution has already happened. Who's number 5? Yes?
I just want to know, if you call a constitutional convention, everything's up for grabs then. The whole thing, the whole country could go down the toilet. I mean, it already is, though, I suppose.
So there's one quick answer to the concern, Bill. What I would say is this: the only thing that scares me more than the idea of amending the Constitution is the idea of not amending the U.S. Constitution. I mean, at the end of the day, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It's supposed to codify our social contract. Well, my friends, our current society is fundamentally racist, sexist, class oppressive, and these institutions known as corporations are destroying the planet that we depend upon for life itself. Frankly, we need to renegotiate this social contract the way that it's currently going. And the way you would do that is actually to rewrite the entire thing. So I'm actually up for a conversation about that, but we're not requiring it. And I want to be clear. The difference between a constitutional convention under Article 5 or a congressional proposal amending the Constitution, that's a Y in the road. At some point, a decision has to be made. Just when you're traveling a path, when you come to a fork, you have to choose, right? But let's just be honest, my friends, we've got a lot of political road to travel before we get to the point of whether we have to say convention or Congress. And again, something that I'm looking forward to talking with you, Mike, and others at Wolfpack is, like, there's no need to actually make a demand like that, because you end up in arguments tactically with people that are erstwhile allies. Let's just leave it open for now and just agree that we need an amendment, and which of the two ways that we might do that, let's just travel the road together before. And I understand that many of you have already said that's the one that we think we're going to take. Maybe you're right. Maybe others are right. But in the meantime, let's walk together until we get to that moment.
Well, yeah, and I just wanted to add real quick, that's the reason we focus on movement building more than doing legislative things in D.C. Because if you actually have a real movement, then the people will have the power at that point. It won't just be completely open. We will be the people determining it. Everybody who takes part in the entire process.
I lived in Los Angeles in the 80s and 90s, and at one point there was, it seems like money controls the way voters behave. It certainly does, to a great degree. But there was something encouraging that happened there. There used to be a bunch of ballot initiatives, and they grew into a big business almost. There were so many on the state ballot that they had to send out to voters with like a 20-page description of what they were. And then some of them were, you end up voting for something you didn't believe in because a lot of them were deceptively worded. And so the people, no one predicted this, but the people were kind of tired of it, and they just rejected every single one, which tells me that unexpected things happen with voters, and they can't act as one, even without encouragement by the newspapers or all the money that people pour into it.
Well, thanks for that final comment. We're going to close it out, but I want to say that because I know the good public library, these public workers have families that they want to get to. So I will invite anybody who wants to continue the conversation for a little bit. Daniel and I will make ourselves available outside to continue this conversation. And I'm going to invite Daniel for any closing thoughts.
Well, yeah, just to respond to what you said, unfortunately, if you watch TV in California during election time now, and you see a commercial that sounds like everything you want to hear, you should not vote for that. It's back to the way it was. I mean, it probably isn't as bad as it was. There aren't as many, you know, ballot initiatives or things like that. But, you know, I mean, that's one of the reasons to do it, because corporations can, you know, claim the First Amendment right to lie. So
I
just wanted to ask, are you using local cable TV across the nation?
extensively.
Good.
In fact, so extensively that we are working with award-winning filmmaker Dennis Trainer to produce a 28-minute video for us that is then going to be distributed all across cable access across the country. So the answer is yes. And so I have two final things. One, I want to ask, has anybody been so inspired as Daniel sort of tried to entice you to say, you know, I'd be willing to try to organize a Portsmouth, New Hampshire move to amend local affiliate? If there's not, that's okay. But if there is anybody, I'd just like to know.
Yeah.
And Herb, you and I need to talk.
Exeter.
I'm sorry?
I live in
Exeter? Fair enough, Exeter.
Yeah.
So, watch this. This is my personal card. That's my cell phone number. Here's the thing. Here's an organizer's trick for you. Herb, you say you want to help organize. It's on you. I'm not taking your card. You send me an email saying I'm interested in organizing an Exeter Move to Amend affiliate, and I will respond to you looping in the national team who can actually walk you through that whole process. Anybody else?
Kittery.
All right, Kitterick.
Kittery.
Kitterick. All right, thank you so much. And same thing, brother. It's on you. It's on you. All right. So the second thing I want to do in closing is to thank you for coming out. I want you to think about this the same way that women of the 1970s would get together and have conversation about gender roles. Over time, those became known as consciousness-raising groups. At the time, it was just women getting together because they read Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique and said, yeah, that speaks to me, this isn't right. Notwithstanding what society tells us, culturally, politically, there was no way to imagine making any change, but ordinary women started to get together. Some men, but it was mostly women. My mama was one of them, by the way, who went to consciousness-raising groups, and they began to question, and then ultimately they began to plan. And because of that, they launched what we now understand as second-wave feminism. And women like my mother, and maybe some of you, or your mothers or daughters or nieces or so forth, helped to actually change fundamentally the way gender is understood in this country. Now, we're not through with that nonviolent revolution around gender issues, but I want you to think about the difference between the 1970s and 2014 and how we think about women's roles in society. And I want you to imagine that Move to Amend, and this movement is a historic example of a consciousness-raising experience where we can begin the process of asking who rules in this country, and is our Constitution working for us? The very last thing I want to say is this: a thank you. And I want you to zoom in on me if you can, or if you're already on me, because I want to now talk to you who is watching this. Because you're watching this, I don't know, maybe it's on your local community cable, maybe you're watching it on the internet, but the reason that you're able to watch it, is because of Herb and Will, respectively. That is to say, citizen journalists who decided we're not just going to hate the media, we're going to become the media. So you're watching this on non-corporately filtered medium. You're watching this and a way to actually get involved. So if you do want to get involved, if you've been inspired, you can join us at, and if Herb is really good, right about now, you're seeing www.movetoamend.org. And if Will is equally good, right about here is movetoamend.org. And if they're really nice to us, they'll put our telephone number, 707-269-0984, 707-269-0984. Don't just get mad, get active. Peace. Thank you.